Welcome to the Old Coins Explorer, the ultimate treasure hunt. Here we are exploring the old coins and their hidden secrets. Imagine digging through your old change jar and pulling out a dusty nickel from 1990. You probably glance at it and toss it back in the pile, right? But what if I told you that little coin could actually be worth way more than 5 cents? That it carries a piece of American history, some collector mystery, and maybe, just maybe, a hidden value that most people would overlook? Stick around, because the 1990 Jefferson Nickel might just be one of the most underrated treasures in your pocket change. The 1990 Jefferson Nickel. More than just spare change. The 1990 Jefferson Nickel is a great example of how everyday coins can become historical snapshots. It's not flashy, it doesn't have gold or silver in it, and yet it carries decades of significance. Released during a time of cultural and economic transformation in the U.S., this coin bridges a gap between old-school design and modern minting. On the front of the coin, we've got the familiar side profile of Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, third President of the United States, and the visionary behind the Louisiana Purchase. This portrait was created by Felix Schlag and had been featured on the nickel since 1938. That's right. By 1990, this design was over 50 years old. Now, while the design didn't change much, there are details that make this coin special. It was struck at both the Philadelphia Mint with a P mint mark and the Denver Mint with a D mint mark. Coins from San Francisco were only made for proof sets. All regular business strike coins had the classic Monticello building on the reverse, Jefferson's Grand Virginia State, which had also been designed by Schlag. Gear specifications. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight: 5.00 grams. Diameter: 21.2 millimeters. Edge plain. Mint marks: D Denver, P Philadelphia, and S San Francisco for proofs only. That sounds pretty standard, right? But here's where things get interesting. Gemstone full step phenomenon. One of the most valuable aspects of any Jefferson nickel is what collectors call full steps, referring to the steps on Monticello on the reverse. Normally, these steps get worn down during the minting process, especially if the dies were old or not well struck. But a full steps nickel, where all 5 or 6 steps are clearly defined, can significantly increase the coin's value. In 1990, full step nickels are harder to find. The dies weren't always fresh, and mass production meant detail quality varied. But if you find a 1990 D or 1990 P nickel with full steps, it could be worth anywhere from $20 to over $200, depending on condition and grade. Direct hit market value and collector demand. Let's talk money. In average circulated condition, a 1990 Jefferson nickel is still worth about 5 cents. That's the default. But collectors look for quality. An uncirculated example, especially MS65 or higher, can fetch anywhere between $5 and $50. Rare full-step examples graded MS66 or MS67 might bring hundreds of dollars. Here's an example. A 1990 D Jefferson nickel with full steps, graded MS67 by PCGS, sold for over $300 at auction. That's over 6,000 times its face value. Light bulb, why should you care? Here's the thing. Most people never check their nickels. They focus on pennies for wheat designs or quarters for state variations. But nickels? They fly under the radar. That makes Jefferson Nickels one of the most underrated and overlooked coins in circulation today. And coins like the 1990 edition, produced in large numbers but with subtle variations in quality, offer a perfect hunting ground for savvy collectors. Magnifying glass still to the left things to look for in your 1990 nickel. 1. Mint mark. Check for a clean, bold P or D. 2. Full steps. Use a magnifying glass to examine Monticello stairs. 3. Strike quality. Look for sharp details in Jefferson's hair and face. 4. Luster. A bright, flashy nickel likely hasn't been circulated much. 5. No wear or scratches. The fewer blemishes, the higher the grade. Eyes, what about errors? The 1990 nickel doesn't have a long list of famous errors, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. In fact, several error types have surfaced, including off-center strikes, double die obverse or reverse, clip planchets, die cracks and cuds. These error coins can command a premium in the market. For example, a double die error can boost a value significantly if it affects key details like the lettering or date. Book's historical context. It's worth remembering what was going on in 1990. The Berlin Wall had just come down. The Cold War was drawing to a close, and American pop culture was exploding with TV shows, video games, and a new digital age just around the corner. The 1990 Jefferson Nickel might have been sitting in a cashier's drawer at a Blockbuster Video, or dropped into an arcade machine for a game of Pac-Man. That cultural connection is something no new coin can replicate. For collectors, this is part of the magic. A coin isn't just metal. It's a time capsule. Next up, the 2017 Jefferson Nickel, a modern coin with sharp design, hidden gems, and collector value you probably never expected. Get ready for crisp strikes, rare errors, and surprising worth of a coin you likely have in your pocket right now. Let's dive in. The 2017 Jefferson Nickel, a new era in your pocket. By 2017, the Jefferson Nickel had already gone through nearly 80 years of history. But this year brought something special. It wasn't just another date on the timeline. It marked a continuation of the new face of the nickel that had started a decade earlier. In 2006, the U.S. Mint updated Jefferson's portrait, giving him a front-facing look for the first time ever. This design carried through into 2017, making it part of the modern generation of nickels that stand out for their crisp detail and improved minting quality. What makes the 2017 nickel exciting is not just its design, but its collectability. It's easy to overlook modern coins, assuming they aren't worth anything beyond their face value. But collectors know better. The 2017 nickel has varieties, high-grade examples, and error coins that can make it worth many times its original 5 cents. Artist palette design overview. Let's talk visuals. Obverse. Front Jefferson stares straight at you in a detailed portrait designed by Jamie Franke. It's a striking presidential look that modernizes the coin's personality. Reverse. Back to reverse still features Jefferson's Monticello estate, a design that ties all the way back to the coin's beginnings in 1938. Classic, elegant, and timeless. The inscriptions include, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," in Jefferson's own handwriting. The date, 2017. The mint mark, P, D, or S depending on the mint. Hammer and wrench technical specs. Composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight, 5.00 grams. Diameter, 21.2 millimeters. Edge, plain. Mint marks, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, proofs only. Light bulb little known fact. In 2017, the U.S. Mint celebrated its 225th anniversary, which had a direct effect on another coin. The 2017 Lincoln Cent got a special P mint mark for the first time ever. While the Jefferson Nickel didn't get a similar update, this still drew extra attention to 2017 dated coins among collectors, including the nickel. Money bag value and grading, what's it worth? At face value, it's still just 5 cents. But in the collector's world, condition is king. Circulated condition, worth face value, unless it's an error coin. Uncirculated, MS65 plus typically sells for $1 to $10. High grades, MS67 or higher, can reach $50 to $100 plus at auction, especially for rare full-step varieties. For example, a 2017 D. Jefferson Nickel graded MS67 with full steps sold for over $150, while high-grade examples from Philadelphia have fetched similar prices. Full steps equals full value. Just like in older nickels, the full steps designation is a game changer. A nickel with clearly defined steps on the Monticello can multiply its value many times. These full-step examples show how sharp the strike was and prove the coin avoided wear and tear in production or circulation. Keep this in mind. 5 full steps equals better value. 6 full steps equals best possible strike. Top-tier collector coin. Magnifying glass still to the left key, collector variants, and errors to look for. Now let's talk about the fun stuff. Mint errors. Believe it or not, modern nickels like the 2017 can still slip up at the mint, creating some valuable collector items. Some errors to watch for. 1. Off-center strikes. These coins are missing part of the design due to being struck off-center. The more off-center, the more valuable, especially if the date is still visible. 2. Double die obverse. DDO, this error causes doubling in areas like Liberty or Jefferson's face. 3. Die cracks or cuds. Raised lines or blobs on coin due to damaged dies. Collectors love these quirks. 4. Improperly annealed planchets. This error creates wild discoloration on the coin, reds, purples, and blues, often mistaken for toning. Some examples of 2017 era nickels have sold for $50 to over $300, depending on rarity and condition. Eyes, what should you look for in your change? The best part about collecting 2017 Jefferson Nickels is that they're still everywhere. You probably already have a few, but if you want to find a real winner, look for a strong strike and shiny finish, sharp detail on Jefferson's cheek, collar, and hair, clearly visible steps on Monticello, no scratches, nicks, or circulation wear, unusual coloring or alignment may indicate an error. Also, check for coins with die clashes, where faint outlines or reverse elements appear on the obverse, or vice versa. These are niche but fascinating errors. Brain smart collecting tip. If you find a great-looking 2017 nickel, put it in a 2x2 coin flip or capsule. Even if it's not valuable now, it could increase in the future, especially if mint errors or varieties gain more attention. Luggage mint sets and proofs. The U.S. Mint sold both uncirculated coin sets and proof sets in 2017. These contain much higher quality coins than what you'll find in pocket change. Proof coins from San Francisco have that mirror-like finish and frosty design. They're ideal for collectors and often show the full steps detailed beautifully.